Okay, this is the new IT120, the new Nova model in the Nova series from Chester Aquaria. This is a programmable, uh, controllable LED fixture. It features 120 watts of Bridge Lux LED power. The fixture has a controller built in with an LCD screen. I'm going to run you through that right now, show you what that's all about. This is the default readout. It's just the default display. It shows you what mode you're in, which we're in a custom scene right now. It'll show you the dimming on the individual channels. You can see right now we're at 40% on the blue, 12% on the white, and also the date and time. To the right of that is the manual controls. These are just touch sensitive, so see I can touch them. It doesn't require pushing a button per se, it's just reacts to your touch, so you don't really have to push the fixture. Just the weight of the fixture will hold it steady with the little amount of pressure you have to put on the buttons for it to register your touch. If you do not want to even mess with the manual controls, there is a remote. Everything you can do from the remote, including choosing desired scenes. So there are some scenes built into the controller. For instance, sunny. The default for sunny is basically 100% on both channels. Cloudy, which is a more actinic, it's a 65-40. Moonlights, 5%. And these pre-programmed scenes are editable. So you could make sunny, cloudy, moon, really whatever you want, but they kind of come out of the box with a default, kind of common setting. I'm going to jump back to the custom scene, and at the moment, for this time of day, the custom scene is programmed to be at 40% blue, 12% on the white channel. I'm going to jump into the menu and show you what you can do. As you can see, if you wanted to, you could edit the default scenes. But we're going to jump into the custom scene and show you the power of that. First setting is step. I have it set at half hour. Your choices in this are half hour or 1 hour, and that just defines your increments for adjustability. So you can have the controller accept a setting for the dimming of each channel per half hour or per hour, depending on how gradiated you want it or how fine-tuned you want the progression, the ramp up, ramp down. And the way you program this is you just scroll through left and right. Will give you the time of day. So I'm in half hour step, so you can see it advances half hour as I go left and right. And as you program, the fixture goes to the setting, so you can visualize the setting you're doing for that time period. You can see I'm at 2:30 a.m., 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. stepping through, and basically at this point I'm just in moonlights, and I accomplish moonlights on the B channel. It's the blue channel. I've got it set at 2%. So if you'll see, you can see the reflection of the moonlights. Any setting under 10% on the blue channel is considered moonlights. So anything under 10%, it'll only fire 3 of the blues. So I'm going to ramp down. There's, for instance, 0% obviously, but here's 1%. And I'm just slowly going up through the intensities of the moonlights, all the way up to 9%, which is the highest setting for moonlights. As soon as you cross over into 10% or higher, then it's full channel on. I'm going to set it back to 2%, which is what I have in my scene for my moonlights. So I'm going to continue, go back up, start advancing through the time again. You see at 5:30 I start my ramp up. This is again just my customized settings personally as an example, but you could set this for however you want. So at 5:30 I start bumping the moonlights up, 3%, then 4%, 5%, 6%, and so on. And then at 9 o'clock I hit 10, which is full blue channel on, and I can start to speed up my ramp up. So you can start to see as I advance, I'm starting to reach what I have programmed as full light for the day. At 11:30 I'm at what I have set as full light, which for my preference is 100% blue, 40% white. That's what it is for most of the day. I do peak out. I bump it actually to 100% and 45% just for a couple hours, just to have a couple hours of midday intensity. Then I go back to 100 on the blue and 40 on the white. As I start getting into the evening, let's see here at 8 o'clock, I start my ramp down, and I'm dropping to 80-30, 60-25, 50-20, 40-12, and then all the way back down. And at 10:30 I'm back into moonlights at 9%, and then I have the moonlight power fall out, and then the whole cycle just repeats itself. And then at midnight I'm back to 2%, which is a nice subtle moonlight. This preview, for the sake of time I won't show you this, but what that does, if you select that, it kind of goes through your whole 24-hour cycle and fast forward. So it'll go through each increment every several seconds, so you can visualize your scene for the day. So click on it, and I won't go through the whole thing obviously for the sake of time, but you'll see it starts to ramp up through the day. It's just a way to kind of test the scene you had, make sure you like it by being able to see it in a much more rapid state than leaving it for the day and trying to keep an eye on it over several days to see if you like it or not. Last option in that menu is just to save. Like I said, if you go into the other cloudy, for instance, you could edit that scene if you want. Manual mode is just that. It exits out of any of the pre-built or user-built scenes. In strictly manual, you can go up, down, whatever you wanted to do for that given moment. If you had some circumstance where you wanted to exit out of the scene and do something manual. Setting screen, there's not much of interest there, to be honest with you. You can set the language. The only thing that's valuable is timer. You set the time and date. You can reset it to factory defaults. If for some reason you want to do that. The help screen just displays the version number, revision number of the firmware. You go back again. This is the default. It's kind of a status screen. The remote itself. These buttons down here are your scenes. You have sunny, cloudy, moon, as I've described. Custom, which is the user custom, which I showed you how I built mine, but that's completely up to you. And manual just exits completely out of a scene and lets you just ramp up and down for that to have manual adjustment at that given moment. Up, down, left, right, OK. Common stuff to get through the menus. Leave a power button, and menu gets you into the menu. A little more about the fixture itself. It's an improvement over the previous Nova lights. Where previously there were some clips, these use a more attractive aluminum threaded fitting, and this goes back to adjustable hanging kit now. So what that allows you to do is raise the fixture up and down, a little more fine tuning than previously. And not only can you raise the fixture up and down, but you can bring in tension on the individual points of attachment themselves. So you could even angle this front to back. For instance, if you wanted to position this a little front side of your tank and angle it backwards, you could push the light at an angle to the rear of your tank. So there's more flexibility in the mount itself. And unlike the previous Novas, these have two mounting attachments. So that allows you to hook them at a common point, the way I have them now, or you could mount them to separate points, which gives you more flexibility, not only for up and down, but also stability. If you hook them to two separate points, the fixture is less likely to want to rotate or turn, or it'll have more stability if it's bumped. So there's a little more flexibility in the mounting kit, improved over the previous series. The electrical connections are updated. Instead of the previous XLR connection, there's a more standard US plug for incoming power, exactly the way you'd see in a computer, most electronics, for instance. The accessory power out, that is a power outlet. It is a multi-country, so it looks a little different than you're used to, but a standard US plug plugs right into there. And what that does is that outlet energizes whenever the light is on. So what that allows you to do is activate some other piece of electronics to come on with the light. For instance, you may want a power head or wave maker to kick on when your light comes on for the day, giving you a little more flow during the daytime hours and calming the tank down at night. You could also plug in accessory lighting if you wanted some additional lighting to come on with the light. That way you're controlling all the lights in the tank through the controller of the fixture by plugging them into the accessory outlet. And that is basically the tour of the new light. It's the Nova IT120 by Chester Aquaria. If you have any questions, you'd like additional information, or if you'd like to order, they are available at chesteraquaria.com.